Hey, it's Friday. You know that means it's time to deploy. Jim, how was your week?
Yeah, good week this week. How was yours?
It was good. Very busy. It's getting colder here in Australia, so we're
Yeah.
both wearing our sweaters, or as we call here in Australia, jumpers. So, what's the temperature down in Melbourne?
Oh God, I don't even know. It's like below 10 Celsius. So yeah,
Yes. So that's
yeah,
probably what, 40, 50 degrees Fahrenheit for our American viewers?
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just wet
So,
outside. Like I haven't seen it rain. It's been wet all week on the ground, but I haven't seen it rain. So I don't really know what's happening. I'm hiding in my little cave here, but yeah, it's gross out there.
yeah. Awesome. Well, for those who haven't seen the show, this is a sort of a news of the week show that we do every Friday. So let's go and get into it. So this was the PlatformCon 2024 just wrapped, actually just a few hours ago. We hosted a watch party at the Brisbane office, and I thought I'd share some photos of what it was like. We had a great time there. We had approximately 40 people show up, which was great. We had our setup beforehand. So this is part of our office here. If you haven't seen the Octopus Deploy office, this is what it looks like here. And we had everything set up, ready to go. We even had a Wi-Fi password set up for our guests. Of course, this no longer works, so don't try it if you happen to be in the area. Um, yeah, so we had everything ready to go. We were, having various folks come in and listen to some of the sessions that we did. It was a great time. We had free coffee for folks who were there, which was awesome. And we had some swag as well. We had Matt Casperson join us on a Zoom call to talk about his book, DevX as a Service, which was great. And a good time was had by all. We even took advantage of the balcony there. The balcony was full at one point, so this was just a picture I happened to snap. But yeah, we had some great times to be had, and had a great time overall. So I was really happy with the turnout, and we might have to do it again sometime. So there you go. That was the watch party as part of PlatformCon 2024. We hosted that at our office. Cool. We've been doing a lot of shipping as well. So we recently updated our What's New page. So you'll find us at octopus.com/what's new. We have some new features for Octopus Cloud, and we have recently shipped 2024.2. So Jim, was there anything that you touched that went into this? I'm sure there was. I mean, a few things that you worked on. Anything you'd like to highlight?
Uh, I'm not even sure to be honest.
That's awesome.
I uh, I sometimes lose track of the big point release cadence because we're
Ah,
always
yes.
shipping to cloud at the same time, right? These are the ones that for our self-hosted customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, time time's a circle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to be doing a webinar with, not a webinar, but a video with Bob Walker very soon. And he and I are going to go through the whole list. But just to give you some of the highlights, we've talked about some of these already. We've talked about the GitHub deploy, the Octopus Deploy GitHub app. There's a video on our YouTube channel. The deployment freezes. This is an awesome feature that is now available in Octopus Cloud. So you can freeze your deployments. This is really good if you have, say, a blackout period for deployments. Say let's say you have a shopping season coming up, like Black Friday, or you don't want to touch your website or anything like that. You can set those up, so you have more control over that. Better visibility of key account information with license usage dashboard. So I took liberty and showed our samples example. So this is our samples instance we have. This is the new license dashboard here that gives you a sense of your overall usage. So there you go. That's a new feature we have in Octopus Cloud. You can also check out the latest highlights and features if you want to check it out there. In 24.4.2, which is obviously our on-prem, this includes our Kubernetes agent, which we've talked about. We had a webinar about this. There's also external feed triggers for Kubernetes. This is if you update a Helm chart, for example, will automatically go ahead and issue a deployment, for example. This is akin to Arc or automatic release creation, for example. So these feed triggers which queue off of something, some event. So you can do automatic deployments for dev and test, quick hot fix promotions, productions, things like that. Really nice, especially when utilizing things like Helm repositories, container images, registries, things like that. So automatically being able to trigger off that is a really nice feature. Improved visibility and management of variables for tentative deployments. So new tentative variable dashboard. I've talked about this before. We've got some improvements there. ServiceNow integration improvements for better control of change requests. So one thing that I don't think a lot of folks know, or maybe folks who don't even know what ServiceNow is, Jim, do you want to give your definition of ServiceNow?
It's something I'm glad I don't have to work with, maybe.
It's
Is that
basically
correct?
ServiceNow. Yeah, if you've used SharePoint, it's kind of like SharePoint for change management and a whole bunch of other things. ServiceNow, I like to think of as like the portal to rule them all. So ServiceNow provides this mega portal and workflow and change management and all this other stuff, like just everything you'd ever want to manage. Forms over data, all kinds of stuff. One of the things that they have is ITSM integration. We support that. So ServiceNow integration allows you to do control of. So what will typically happen in an organization is like, you'll have a certain number of individuals who are designated as the release masters, and they'll just be like, okay, we can go and trigger a request for a deployment or a change request. So now that can flow through. It could flow before, but you get better control over that now in 2024.2. Better visibility, key count, all kinds of new stuff, performance improvements. Bob and I will talk about each one of these in the upcoming video, but these are now available. So there you go.
Awesome.
I like your definition of ServiceNow. something I don't have to work with. That's like the Jeopardy answer. Who are three people who have never been in my kitchen? Seinfeld fans will recognize that one. So there you go. We're still doing webinars. I hosted one earlier today, Octopus 101. It's the same 101 that you've seen before. Talk a little bit about kicking the tires there. However, we do have some really cool webinars coming up. So we've got Kit and Robert talking about deploying your first application using Kubernetes and Octopus Deploy. So if you're at all curious about how this works, this is sort of like soup to nuts in terms of deploying to Kubernetes via Octopus Deploy. It's a good one to check out. And then Michael and I are going to be doing a really ambitious live stream / live Q&A talking all about the state of Kubernetes 2024. Michael is part of the Kubernetes release team, and he and I are going to basically battle through as many questions as you can ask, and we'll try and target as many of them as possible. Talk about where we think Kubernetes is, where we think it's been, where it's going, etc. So that's on June 27th. We have some other ones slated for July. We'll be publishing those shortly. So keep this page locked in your browser history. Make it a bookmark or a homepage. And just be aware that we'll be posting some updates there. Awesome stuff. Our roadmap is meeting some updates as well. We've got some more items under consideration, planned, and released. So you can see a lot of the ones that we've recently released. This is actually part of the 2024.2 release that are part of cloud, etc. And there's 2024.1. 2024.2 will be added here at some point in the near future. But in our planned features, obviously the ones that are, anything that you're working on, Jim, I always have to make sure that,
It's there. It's there
yours is always
finally.
under the covers, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually made it here. The alpha program for the resilient,
there you go. Yes.
scalable deployments in cloud. So yeah,
Tell us
I'm
a little
working
bit
really
about
hard.
this.
Yeah, so at the moment, if you're working on a cloud platform and doing a deployment, you need to be mindful of the maintenance windows. We take our cloud instances down in order to update them with all these great new features you can see on the page. But we are working to make that no longer the case, so that if you're running deployments and we take you down for a few minutes to do regular maintenance, when it comes back up, those deployments are still running and can continue on. So it's a lot of really deep work. That's why I often have nothing to say about what's in this release, because we're kind of building a whole new. We're porting a lot of the current features over to this new resilient and scalable architecture. So yeah, it's a big undertaking, but we're starting to get to the point where we might be starting to talk to some people who are either impacted by those maintenance windows a lot, or perhaps so maybe you always need to be deploying and you've got customers in all the different time zones and there isn't a safe time to take your instance down anytime during the day. Or maybe you need to do a lot of deployments. The other thing we're going to do is sort of horizontally scale it. So we should be able to do way more deployments at once than we can do now.
Awesome. I love it. So we have an alpha program, and I assume we're asking people to sign up. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So we're asking people to sign up and we'll reach out and have a chat to you about what it means to be part of the alpha program and how it might benefit you. And but yeah, it's about surviving maintenance windows and getting high deployment throughput. So if either of those things are appealing, sing out.
I like surviving you know, those windows.
Don't you?
So surviving maintenance windows. There you go. Surviving maintenance. Two sweetest, the two sweetest words in the English language. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and vote. Let us know what you think about this. If it's at all a concern of yours, let us know. Awesome. So that's at roadmap.octopus.com. Over on the Codefresh side, we've been doing lots of stuff on YouTube. We got lots of videos posted recently. Some of the more notable ones, this is a webinar that we recently ran called the Argo CD App Promotion Made Easy. This was a very detailed, very lengthy webinar, over an hour and a half. This featured promotion of environments in Codefresh, which was awesome. We had demos. We had a lot of cool features that were highlighted as part of Codefresh, which was cool to see. Dan was there obviously talking about what's new, etc. Lots of innovations being done. And then later on, I think we were hosting an episode of Kubernetes Jeopardy. So we had a bunch of guests join us talking about Kubernetes, answering some questions, which was kind of cool. And I added some questions to the Jeopardy here. So, I added answers to the Jeopardies here. So, yeah. So this was kind of fun. So I think we might try and do this for an upcoming webinar. I would like to do this around Octopus, maybe, and see if we can get some folks to participate. That would be fun. So yeah, that was one of the videos that we did. That's up on our YouTube channel, which is at /codefresh.io. We also did the Chronicles, which is a ongoing webinar series. This one was hosted by Laurent, and this was talking about end-to-end visibility in Codefresh itself. So Laurent did a bit of a detailed deep dive into how this is exposed. It's a bit of a shorter video, about 5 minutes long, but if you want to check that out, you can take a look. And then wrapping things up on the Codefresh side, we had a pretty engaging webinar entitled Why Community Engagement Matters, featuring Paul, Tia, Jay, and Matt. And we had a really good conversation around some of the thoughts and feelings that people had around this subject, around community. Matt obviously is involved in the Kubernetes community space. We have others who are involved in this space as well. And this was hosted by Paul, who's over in New Zealand, talking about why these things matter. So you can check that out as part of our Emerging Domain series up on YouTube as well. So there you go. New bits, new features. Finally, a feature that Jim can hang his head on. I'm kidding, Jim. Stuff you're working on is so gnarly. It's like, it's down in the weeds. So, but there you go. You're up to date on the latest and greatest relative to Octopus and Codefresh. Lots of videos to check out. So check out our YouTube pages. Don't forget to sign up for our webinars. We've got lots of stuff coming up. And until next time, we will see you on the next one. Happy deployments, everyone. Take care.